Stream going. Okay. Okay, I think we're live now. Right now, I'm just going to. Maybe not. Hold on a second. Having some technical issues. It might just be on my end, though. Checking. Am I live? Okay. Maybe. Sorry guys if you can see this just fine. I'm having an issue on my end, I think. Okay. Okay, I think we are live. Can everybody hear me okay? Sweet. Alright, so I'm going to stream for like another hour today. Having said that, I'm going to give everybody a couple of minutes so that they can actually come into the chat. And then we are going to get started. Hope everybody's doing all right. Yeah, it's good. All right. There was just a technical issue on my end because I always try to have the stream open, my other monitor, so I can read the chat, and all. But probably more importantly, to make sure that the stream is on, so like it doesn't cut out and I just keep talking and it turns out it's not even broadcasting or something. Don't want that to happen. It seems that it's all good in the hood tonight. Okay. It's all good in the hood. See, we got a few people watching. There's probably a lot of people who don't want to see a second stream. I'm not ready to get invested, but again, we're just gonna give it another minute or so. What's this for, Baker? Going for an achievement today. Well, starting going for an achievement. It's gonna take a while. Even with, I think they changed how India's nuclear bonuses work. So it should go a little faster, but it's still gonna take a while. You said you were interested in a communist India. No, I'm gonna do the achievement. I said that the communist India was interesting, but we're gonna be going. Our words are back with nuclear weapons. So just keep waiting for another minute for people to come into the stream. Can everybody hear me all right? Hope so. And again, once we get started for real, I'm only gonna go for like an hour because it is a school night for me. Although I don't have class until tomorrow afternoon. I want to go to the library for some stuff. Loud and clear. Great. Still don't understand the yeet thing. All right. Okay, I think we'll just go ahead and get started now then. Okay. Single player. New game. And where is it? The Raj, the crown jewel of the British Empire. Iron Man mode, of course. So we can indeed get achievements. Let's hop into it. What do I want Paradox to work on next? You'll have to be a little more specific. Well, let's figure out the situation here. National spirit, princely states, daily autonomy, progress grade -101, marginalized Muslim community, hurts my stability and recruitable population. Is that a crucifix? Damn. Agrarian society, recruitable population factor -69%. I guess that's to keep India from being too OP, and then risk of famine, which I still to this day do not even know if it does anything eventually. Let's start with getting infrastructure. And very key here, let's work on our capital's infrastructure. I think infantry equipment is mostly what I'm going to be doing. I've only got 2. Wow. Got some convoys. Guess we'll get building some. 11 divisions is what I start with. I'm out here. What's the template? We have 2. Alright, well first off, let's create a distinction between them. Okay, so it's only district garrisons that I've got. And the infantry division is exactly the same. What the hell is the point then? We also have armored divisions. Alright, research slots. Oh, 2! Killing me. At least I can get electronic engineering kind of quick, but that's terrible. Just terrible. Okay, well then, we're going to get basic machine tools first. And we're off to the races. Do we even get a field marshal? No, we do not. Oh, jeez. Isn't there something where I can get some, don't I get some actually Indian forces or something? Indianization of the army. Here we go, yeah, I'd get 3 Indian forces. I definitely want that at some point. Ooh, the Gurkhas. Nice. Oh, you mean in terms of mechanics, so political rework, spying, maybe even Spain and focus trees. Spain's a big one for me in terms of focus trees, but yeah, I do also like, and I think it's something people don't talk about enough, is the mechanical stuff. So for example, in this one we're getting fuel, so yeah, maybe espionage could become something a little more involved than just a point system with encryption and decryption. You know, of course, you sort of ideally want all of the systems to bleed into one another. So for example, if your convoys are getting effed up a lot as of Man the Guns, you're going to start losing war support because you just keep sending out ships to get blown out of the water. Like how with the aces, you know, they can give you war support and things like that. So there's a few things to consider. Oh, didn't realize I was not on 5 speed, my bad. Oh shoot, am I not on historical AI? Alright, steady as she goes. That's what matters. That's the only thing that matters. Now it'll be interesting to see what happens. This is actually perfect. This is ideal. Whoops, yeah, because I didn't know how things would mess up the achievement if like we got broken free early, because I think the point of the way the achievement is worded, we still have to be in the Empire. So coming down here, this is what we're going for. This will be earned when we have the Quit India movement and we've used the nuclear bomb. So the Quit India movement is going to lower our autonomy, but I think it goes away once we're free. In fact, I'm almost entirely sure of that. Hello there, Lionel, the Laughing Storm. Is that a Duncan Egg story reference? Nice. Patrician taste, good sir. Yeah, things are gonna get interesting now. We're gonna be getting into it with China. Are we gonna be getting into it with, like, is Japan gonna come our way? Are the Soviets gonna come south? Like, is Britain gonna have us head into Afghanistan? Actually, wait, I don't think they can do that. I think the Afghanistan route is only over here. Yeah, expose the belly of the bear. I think India could be fun to play, maybe multiplayer or something. Alright, so I want to head for these research slots first. Have to be fully independent in that war. Well, let's start heading down there. But yeah, espionage could be cool. Politics getting a little more nuanced, having more focus trees where you could sort of mix and match things, also good. Alright, so I can get a research slot here. I think there's another one at the bottom of the military tree, right? Indian defense research. We have to be independent and have more than 50 factories. Jeez, so are we going to have to deal with only 3? That sucks. Because 2 of them we can't get till we're free, I think. Lionel was in A Song of Ice and Fire? I thought he was from Dunk and Egg. What am I thinking of? My field of study is history. I'm trying to get my master's degree from NMSU. Shall we improve the workers' conditions? No, you know what we need? We need any and every technology thing we can get. So, for example, we are definitely going to switch to free trade. Yeah, that's what I said. Look, I've read the Dunk and Egg books. Anyway, let's just drop it. Okay. I actually want to read the Fire and Blood that just talks about the history of the Targaryens, because I accepted a long time ago that the books aren't going to be done, so I'm just really interested in lore, because then it makes playing the Game of Thrones CK2 mod more fun. In real life, what was the situation like in India during the 1930s? Yeah, I don't know enough about it to say. I don't want to say anything and just guess. Okay, we need... Yeah, I just gotta keep going towards the Institute of Science, plain and simple. Yeah, those books are definitely not getting done. When it comes to like new fantasy, meaning like, or I should say modern fantasy books, the only ones I'm really reading is the Stormlight Archives, which I'm actually not even caught up with. I've only read the first 2 books, and I'm working on Edge Dancer, but it's hard to do for fun reading during the semester. He said while he played a video game. I think I actually will read some of that whenever I'm done with this, before I go to bed. Ooh, Silent Workhorse. Yes, please. Because it's going to be a long one. You're in your undergrad for history, wanting to get my PhD one day, maybe do my thesis on something to do with World War I. Well, that's cool. Well, you get your undergrad done first. So the thing with what are my thoughts on Stoicism? I really admire Stoics in a lot of ways. I don't think, and there were times, especially when I was younger, I really wanted to get into having a Stoic philosophy on life. The thing is, to be a true Stoic, you gotta, like, to go all the way with Stoicism, you gotta put aside all emotions. You can't be happy either, you know what I mean? But having said that, I actually have a poster with Rudyard Kipling's infamous If poem. Infamous, it's not infamous, famous If poem, right above my desk. I can read from it right now. In fact, I think I shall. I think it's kind of fitting because we're playing in India. Here we go. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. If you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too. If you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster, and treat those 2 impostors just the same, if you can bear hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves, to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to, broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings, and risk it all on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at your beginnings, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on! If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much. If you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it. Which is more, will be a man, my son. As much as I would have liked to memorize that, I think that kind of confirms that I do indeed have it in a poster above my desk. I also have, on the other side of my desk, on the left, I have a very convenient reference chart of European monarchs. Wait a minute. We're gonna... Yeah, up here. Wait, no. Let's keep working on infrastructure. Marcus Aurelius, is he my favorite emperor? I'd really have to think about that. He's definitely up there. Okay, you know what? Gut reaction, yes. But I reserve the right to change my answer. It probably is him, though. And I did used to read his meditations. The music matched perfectly, me saying that. I didn't even think about that. Jeez, I think I got bit by a spider. Well, let's assign these guys for now. Who do I want to promote? I don't want to promote any of these clowns. Oh yeah, there's a lot of great Roman emperors, and in different ones were great in different ways. So we've got the political workhorse. I think I want to do stability next. Maybe. Or military theorist. Oh no, because we want the nuclear scientist eventually. So let's not do that too soon. And I'm going to tell you right now, the instant we get Indian Institute of Science, I'm going to start researching nukes. I want to make this happen as quickly as possible, which is going to take a while. What do we got here? We got a popular figurehead. No. Captain of Industry, maybe. Backroom backstabber, possibly. Yep, Caligula, Nero, and Commodus. Those are definitely three of the worst. But there's worse. Well, I don't know about worse, but there's other bad ones, such as Caracalla, the son of Emperor Septimus Severus. Very bad guy. Okay, we want... I guess let's get the construction thing. Let's get that, and let's get... Too early for that. Too early for so much. We're gonna use... I want artillery. Probably not. It's probably better stuff I could do. Oh, you know what? Let's just knock out the strategic bomber. Let's see. Alex says, I'm also looking to get a degree in history. My only reservation about it would be the availability of jobs. What are some jobs to get with it besides teaching? Museums. That would, I'd say, be the first thing. But, you know, it's your life, dude. So I would just say okay, guys, I would not... Hold on a sec, real quick. I would not say the Library of Alexandria was the best library in the history of the earth. The fucking Library of Congress, for one thing, comes to mind. And, you know, it's become like a... I try not to use this word. In fact, this might be the first time I've used this word, and it's, this year, but it's become a bit of a meme for people to like, oh my god, the Library of Alexandria! But there have been some other historical tragedies, some that have happened in the last year. So, for example, do y'all remember back in, I think it was July, when, no, it was late August, early September. Yeah, Labor Day weekend, I think. Not Labor Day weekend. But what I'm saying is, when Brazil's National Museum caught fire, like, the highest estimates I've ever heard for Library of Alexandria is that there was maybe 500,000 books in there. The Brazilian National Museum, the part of it that burned, had millions of items and research. Like you guys don't understand what is in a museum beyond what's out on their shelves. Like I'm telling you, any museum you've ever gone to, I fucking guarantee you they had maybe 5%, unless it's like a small local museum, like it's like history of this town of 200 people. I guarantee you they probably had like 5% of their stuff out on the shelves at most. A lot of it is in archives, a lot of it they keep in storage, and they just try to rotate it out in and out whenever they can. But the museums are also research centers. Now, I'm not saying the burning of the Library of Alexandria wasn't a tragedy, but it's just like, it's just taken on this weird tone that I'm not digging. Anyway, let's start working on this 1140 days. It's like there's other stuff. It's like become like a pop culture thing to say. Okay. What do we want to do now? Do we want to start working on these other railways? Get some more infrastructure? Yes, we do. But like, okay, let me look up some of the things that were lost, because there was like all sorts of Mesoamerican things that were lost in that fire. And you know what's the sad part? That museum, that Brazilian museum, had been for decades just being let, basically they were just letting it rot. The government was letting it rot, and it finally had gotten funding to bring it up to code and stuff, and then it all went up in flames before it could happen. So, but I think there was anyway. Let's. Okay, so for example, I'm gonna like talk about some specific things. I'll try to pull up some pictures of them, but like the Lusius fossil was found, was destroyed. That was an almost 12,000-year-old skull in Brazil. It's so like it was important to science and like studying ancient DNA. There was I'm trying to think what else. Had the largest collection of lace bugs in the world. Although the funny thing, what this is as funny as this situation can get, but like there was a meteor in the museum. That one survived the fire because, you know, it's a meteor, and I think a little fire didn't do much to it. But meteorite, I should say, to be more specific. There were mummies. There were yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. Feather, like collections of feather art and history and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, the Islamic State has been destroying tons and tons of artifacts. There was I don't know if it was the Islamic State. No, I think it was Al Qaeda a long time ago. I think this happened in like the 80s, but they destroyed an enormous Buddhism statue, but then like eventually it turned out there was like caverns behind it or something that got studied, and then so some people try to say, hey, you know, good thing they blew it up, or it would have never been found. It would have been fucking found eventually. So I don't want to hear it. Okay, we're going to build some more infrastructure. Where let's work over here. Plus it's giving some more resources. Yeah, the Taliban, my bad, Taliban. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I fucking just mixed those two up. I'm so embarrassed. That sounded a little sarcastic, but I really am embarrassed that I just did that. I think we'll eventually just max out the infrastructure in our city, in our country here. I'm sure we will. So let's take a look at our logistics. We're still working on that infantry equipment. Modern day monuments, man. Oh geez, that'd be freaking badass. Maybe somebody like the Burma. It's like a private organization. Can you imagine? It's something like the Burma Rangers, but all they do is save historical shit. I think I'm coming up with an idea of like a team of Indiana Joneses. I get. Never mind. I was about to say something, but I understand what you're saying. Person in the chat, who I'm actually not even gonna identify. I was gonna say something like to like contradict you, but that was gonna be mean, and it's like it's too niche. Never mind. Why am I even still talking about it? Shut up, me. Shut up, me. Okay, so since we're not doing historical AI and we're about a year and a half in already, let's go see what is going on in the rest of the world. So Japan, it looks like oh wait, oh no, that was just a skirmish. I thought Manchukuo had broken away. So Japan's about to attack China. I'm not sure what's going on there. Red tape. No red tape. I'm talking about like just a bunch of, it's like a badass group of like historians and anthropologists and stuff, and they just like they just bust into these countries and drag out all the historical artifacts. Like they go after ones the terrorists are gonna blow up. It's like boom 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 boom. That'd be so cool. That's one of the reasons why my favorite character in One Piece is well, I don't know if I want to say favorite. Top three character in One Piece is Nico Robin. So for those of you who don't know One Piece, she's a historian slash anthropologist. Well, you know, anthropology is just a branch of history. There's so many fields that are just branches of history. Wait a second, I'm trying to decide what to do here. Yeah, so it's like Indiana Jones, but they fight against the Islamic State. But not just the Islamic State, like they'd go all around the world, anywhere where people are gonna like destroy historical artifacts. Yeah. So like think the Burma Rangers, but they're archaeologists. Anyway, so Nico Robin, that's what like she does. So one of the things that I think is interesting in the world of One Piece, and I feel like I'm not totally caught up incidentally, so like I'm not able to really interact with the online community because I'm scared of getting spoiled. Ah, here's where we get rid of the risk of famine. Okay. Although, what does it do? Yeah, I get it, Dr. Bones. Anyway. So, wait a second. I'm trying to see some stuff here. Autonomy progress over 40%. I don't think I need any of that stuff right now. What we are going to do is take this so that I can, get the nuclear research guy sooner rather than later. So what we're just gonna do is we're gonna wait until this is done so I can spend the money on that guy. Yeah, make it like a movie. Make a movie of it or something. Yeah, so it'd be like modern day Monuments Men. And that'd be the whole thing. It's like, but the bureaucracy. It's like, bureaucracy sounds lame. And then it, you know, just make it like a super over the top like action movie. Like it's a comedy too, but it's teaching a good lesson. Wait, somebody's saying okay, hey, I'm looking at your question, Decipher. I'm gonna get to it in a second. Let me just finish up. Yeah, so like there's this thing in One Piece where Nico Robin, she's fighting somebody, and she's fighting them in the middle of this like ancient ruin. So like imagine the Pantheon in Athens or something, or some sort of ancient historical area. And so she's fighting this dude, and during the fighting, the guy is just destroying all the shit, and like is pissing her off, right? So they're getting into a fight, and so this is a long. Okay, it's an anime, you know. There's magic and shit. So like basically, she has this ability where she can sprout extra limbs on her body, but she can also sprout them like within a certain range of herself. So, for example, like, so like let's say you were washing the dishes in the sink. You could like have extra arms, like once you're done washing. You could sprout extra hands on like the counters to grab the dishes from yourself and like put them in the cabinets and stuff like that. So anyway, so she's fighting the dude and she's getting pissed because he's just destroying all the ancient shit, and so she's fighting him, and then she manages to throw him off of a cliff. So like he's gonna die, right? But then she sprouts her arms out of his body, and then fucking snaps him in half, like clutches him and breaks him in half. So he dies before he hits the ground in a much more painful way, I'm sure. And I saw that, I was just, damn, son, you know, like, holy shit. Oh, yeah, it's late in Argentina. All right, good night, Bruno. I'm actually be learning more about your country soon, in like a month. Okay, so we're done with all this. Is it lessons for the Great Wartime? Or what do we got here? Provincial elections, modify princely state progress. I might take this. An archaeologist, Czechoslovakian Union. Oh yeah, so the question somebody brought up was, or did somebody delete it? Decipher, did you delete your question? Oh, here we go. I've been learning that Marx was more democratic than communist revolutionaries like Stalin and Lenin. Why did autocracy crop up in collectivist thought? I'm learning about revolutionary Russia. Well, that is terrific. I've actually never learned about revolutionary Russia in a formal setting, although I've always wanted to, and like I hope to in the next year maybe, because there is like a 20th century Russia class, and the professor, he's supposed to be just the guy when it comes to Russian history in the 20th century. So that class always fills up super fast. And it conflicted last semester with something else I was going to take, but I really want to take that. Anyway, I study it a lot though in private because like the Russian Revolution is just so, it's so dramatic, it's so Shakespearean, like everybody on all the sides, it's fucking nuts. Anyway, the to answer your question though, so Marxist thought is really complicated, and like so complicated that like we'd be here all day going into it. There's so many branches of it, there's so many different directions that the ideologies have gone, and like even like the Soviet Union and China, which were these big China, like they you know, you had like Xiaoping and Gorbachev, who were like modulating communist thought even after it went autocratic. But the shortest answer I could give is that a key principle in communism is the idea of the dictatorship of the proletariat, which will then lead to the communist state. The problem is you get that dictatorship and then they never bring around that utopia. They just sort of keep the dictatorship part. They go, you know what, this is a good place to stop. But these things get, you know, it's so much more complicated than that. Is dispersed industry? I believe dispersed industry has always been better. Actually, as soon as I've said that, probably not though for India. In fact, yeah, I should have gone concentrated. Garan says it bemuses me how universities have specific classes or courses for certain topics. I guess a 20th century Russia class is for the history majors. Well, yeah, it's an upper division class. It's not, dude, some fucking freshman who like is barely old enough to vote is not gonna be in a 20th century class. Okay, do I have a specific target in mind for the nuke? Whoever we go to war with, because we don't have historical AI on right now. So we could end up using it against the Soviets, the Japanese, who knows? Hey, Red Green Revolution, long time no see. Hey, dude, look, I know I was giving a simple answer. Calm down. Goose Fraba. Sri Lanka. Yeah, to turn on the United Kingdom. No, I don't think actually I could, because I have to. I believe the way it works is I still have to stay within the. Oh my gosh, I forgot to get the nuclear scientists. But I have to stay. I can't be free to do it. Nuke Pakistan, but there is no Pakistan. You silly boy. Alright, so we get land doctrine bonus here. Vic's birther gun. Ooh, Indianization of the army, like that. Let's get more political power that I'm not really using. Increase the stability. We're on free trade. Okay. Yeah, you have anarchists, monarchists, socialists, Nazbols, Bolsheviks, other branches of Yeah, like for example, I've been studying a lot more of the Opera Party, which I kind of knew a little bit about, but I'm spending a lot more time this semester looking into them. But like the opera, that was a revolutionary party that was really heavily based in Marxist-Leninist thought. And you'll have a lot of people these days who say that they've just completely gone off the fucking rails, and like they're in no way a revolutionary party anymore. And You'll have some people who say they never were, and that also gets complicated. But what was I gonna? So like the opera, like their tactics and ideas changed over time, and so sometimes they wanted an armed revolt of the people. Other times, in order to get their like kind of more socialist communist society, they said the military had to seize power. And communism has been done in different ways in different areas, or branches of socialism. And like that's a whole other thing. Like once you're bringing socialism in there too, and plus if you actually look at the Communist Manifesto, so like one of the 10, I believe there is it 10 or was it 14? All right. Before I get into that with like the Communist Manifesto, but like you also had the Lenin. You know, like we say we're Marxist-Leninists. Well, like Lenin brings in this idea that like you got to have a vanguard of the party that's actively working and is going to eventually teach everybody else. So that's a big part of what leads to the more autocratic, societies when you get that part into it. And of course, there's that saying you sometimes hear: Marx wasn't a Marxist. So it gets into this all sorts of stuff. But like, if you look at the original Communist Manifesto, just a little pamphlet that was widely distributed, it's very short. Like it's like maybe 30, depending on the edition, it could be like 30 pages, it could be less. Lions of the Great War, gain infantry unit. Do I really need one though? Shoot, hold on a sec. Here's what I wanted. I wanted the actual Indian generals. So, if you, so like the original Communist Manifesto has like it talks about public schools. There's, I believe there's an income tax. And like both of those things are implemented in the United States. But how do you think your average American would react if you told them, you know, there's things in the Communist Manifesto that have been implemented by the United States? They're gonna go, what the fuck? You know? Alright. Can we change our economy yet? I need to do something about my war support. I don't know what, though. Who do I think is the worst human of all time other than the normal ones like Hitler and Stalin? Okay, so you want me to pick somebody obscure who I think is the worst human in history. It's tough to say, because there's some people who have... It also depends on what you consider bad. There's people who've been responsible for the deaths of thousands, but most people would probably say they're good. We also got people who did good things, but they personally were just assholes. Aristotle! Let me think on that for a second. For a couple of minutes. Like, again, because I'm trying to think of somebody who's, like, not obvious. Also, hold on a second. I heard a ding, so, I'm gonna be right back, guys. I just need to switch out my laundry. Okay, I'm back. So, Pol Pot. I would say Pol Pot is considered one of the obvious bad guys of history. Yeah, I'm pretty confident saying that. Who's Charnobog? Wait, what? Are you spelling that correctly? Does anybody in the chat not know who Pol Pog is? We can talk about him. From the obscure ones, you'd say Mobutu. Yeah? Yeah. I'd say he's obscure. Probably, you know what? Even though that book, King Leopold's Ghost, has made the story much more well known, King Leopold, he's not really somebody who people think of. It's like, Belgium, what? You know what? I know one. Let me try to... I've got a book here. I wanted to... There was... the good one. Frickin', you know what? The Somoza family. The Somoza family from, Nicaragua is pretty bad. Are they in charge here? Yep. Anastasio Somoza Garcia. Let me read you some of the fun things this family did. Anastasio Tachito Somoza proved the greediest and most brutal of the Somoza clan that had controlled Nicaraguan life since the 1930s. Somoza assumed power on May 1st of May 1967, shortly before the death of his elder brother Luis. Oh, sorry, this is a different Somoza. This is not this one, but you know, it's part of this family. During their 4-decade-long domination of the country, the Somoza family occasionally played lip service to constitutional procedures permitting puppets to occupy the presidential office. But they secured their power by commanding the National Guard. The Somozas also kept their nation bound to the United States by trumpeting their anti-communism. They permitted the CIA to use the country as a staging ground for attacks on Guatemala and Cuba, and dutifully supported U.S. positions at international fora like the United Nations. Tachito Soma's reign of tyranny left domestic and international observers gasping. The family controlled a plasma bank that exported the blood of poor Nicaraguans who gave their blood in return to money. The Somozas literally sold the blood of their own people. Pedro Joaquin Chamorro, the publisher of the Nicaraguan newspaper La Prensa, the only significant opposition paper in Nicaragua, exposed this appalling state of affairs. In January 1978, Somoza's henchmen assassinated Chamorro, riddling his body with shotgun blasts. It took Nicaraguans, I always go to like Nicaraguans, almost 7 years to overthrow Somoza. Public disgust with Somoza's response to the natural disaster. This was an earthquake that hit them. This is how Roberto Clemente died. Since the early 1960s, insurgents had fought with little success against the Somozas. The National Guard, equipped and trained by the United States, had easily routed them. The principal insurgent organization was the Frente Sandista de Liberación Nacional, or Sandista National Liberation Front. The Sandistas, okay, it just talks about the Sandistas for a bit, but anyway. Somoza and his, here we go. The key to their growing strength was the utter depravity of the Somoza regime. International audiences witnessed in living color the execution of a newsman from the U.S. television network ABC. A Nicaraguan soldier forced the correspondent to the ground and put an M16 rifle to his head and shot him. Somoza and his National Guard waged war against Nicaragua, destroying villages and bombarding cities. Between 1977 and 1979, 40,000 to 50,000 Nicaraguans of a population of 2.9 million had died. Virtually all at the hands of the National Guard. Somoza left his impoverished country in total ruins. Managua was still rubble. That's their capital. Somoza fled the country in July 1979, heading to Paraguay, which was ruled by fellow dictator Alfredo Stroessner. The next year, Somoza was assassinated in Asuncion by a commando team of political leftists. They shot a rocket-propelled grenade into Somoza's unarmored Mercedes, killing him instantly. And to go into a little, like, and I could go into more detail, but like, this guy when he like his regime was crumbling, he started to say the president, meaning the U.S. president, was a communist for not helping him, like in the midst of the Cold War. It's like fucking like so we're talking about a guy like this is a dude in Latin America screaming at the United States during the Cold War, "You bunch of fucking commies." But seriously, it's yeah, Blattman 69. It is pretty fucked up. Managua, my bad. It's because I tend to read more than listen to audio, so I try to phonetically figure stuff out. Jorge Rafael Videria, I do know the broad strokes about him because I know that he deposed Perón, but I don't know that much about him. I only kind of like I know there's that. I know there's like the Dirty War. I'm actually gonna read Operation Massacre in like a month, so I'll probably be able to get back to you more on that later. Do I read any alternate history books or novels? Yeah, I've read a lot of Harry Turtledove. That's most of it, really. A lot of Robert Heinlein's future history. Oh, it's not really alternate history because it's future history. Hey, Thomas Daloff. I feel like I haven't seen you in ages. Good to see you. Alright, what's next here? Why can't I take this? More autonomous than colony. No. Oh yeah, we gotta get the Smiling Buddha at some point, so let's get working on that. The Sandista's namesake is the leader of Nicaragua. Yeah, in fact, I'll probably play Nicaragua because of that, maybe over the summer after I'm done with my paper. So I can chit-chat more about Nicaragua's history. Well, yeah, Pol Pot was a bad, bad man. There's no shortage of them in history. Some of them just have more resources than others. And it's all to scale, like Somoza, he was responsible for tens of thousands of deaths in Nicaragua. But Nicaragua is not very big. Meanwhile, Stalin, of course we said we weren't talking about obvious ones. Stalin, he's got a bigger country. He's got more people to kill. So like 2.9 million, that's a freaking margin of error. With Stalin. What am I going to do about war support? We'll get an aircraft designer up. Let's get that, and let's get... Yeah, we need more air superiority. We can actually start building some planes. Or let's start building some strategic bombers. Although, but in like, you're talking about Pol Pot, so Pol Pot, the killing fields of Cambodia. Actually, there's this terrific quote from General Mathis I'm going to talk about in a second here. But, like, I found out recently, apparently Spain, of all places, because of all the stuff that happened under Franco, Spain has the second most amount of, like, killing pits, or whatever you call them. I guess like a mass, like, killing graves, mass graves. Yeah, I think it's like mass graves. The country with the second most mass graves outside of Cambodia is Spain, because of what Franco did, all of his works. And yeah, although it's my understanding that the new Spanish government is going to start like devoting some resources to looking into those graves and identifying people. Because, like, there's a lot of families in Spain, they still don't know what happened to like, family members. They just disappeared. Number one's Cambodia. I'm talking about the one in Argentina. As far as Dirty War. Okay. Do I want to keep going on the infrastructure train? Yeah. Wait, whoops! No, 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 no. Not military factories yet. There we go. That's what I want. Yeah, right, so we'll see how exactly. We're going to see how it goes in Spain. We'll see. But, yeah, there is a General Mathis quote about when he was young and when he was in Cambodia. Hold on a sec. Wait a minute, wait a minute. What do I want to do here? Military? No, maybe actually. No, let's just knock out all the air stuff, so we can take the Smiling Buddha ASAP. Yeah, so General Mathis, so he's been a Marine since the 60s, right? He was the one who just resigned from the Trump administration. Oh, Germany, is it time already? Demand Sudetenland. Anyway, so I'm gonna read this quote. As far as I can tell, this is a legitimate quote from what I've looked online. But he says, when I was a young officer in 1979, I toured what was known as the Killing Fields in Cambodia. This is an area where the Khmer Rouge killed off nearly a quarter of the Cambodian population, something like 1.9 million people in just a few years. My guide told me that they started by rounding up all the teachers. They wanted to extinguish free thought and the spark of questioning and dissent, because to a totalitarian dictator, an open and inquisitive mind is more dangerous even than a Marine with a rifle. I always liked that one. Quote. What is my opinion on Otto von Bismarck as a diplomat and statesman? Just, you know, defined an era. Huge reformer. Oh, don't call him Mad Dog Mathis. You know, he actually hates that shit. Like, he's like such a calm and collected, and he's a guy who really thinks and is analytical, and then people call him Mad Dog. Like, what the fuck, you know? Otto always have a plan, Bismarck. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the Indian famine event trigger. I don't know what is up with that. It's just a boogeyman, nothing happens. Alright. How long have I been streaming for? I'm gonna go maybe another 10 minutes. It is a school night. Wait, let's come over here. I'm gonna try to get some nice fighters going. Got my hand something fierce. But yeah, I think tomorrow, yeah, like I said, I don't have a class till the afternoon tomorrow, but I want to hit the library to determine if I am indeed going to do this Nicaraguan thing. Of course, I gotta focus on the Cold War, so I'm not gonna be talking about this guy's family too much, other than like as a background piece. What is this? I think that Equestrian War could benefit from having more ideologies to differentiate the different harmonists, communists, and fascists. What do I think? Well, I don't know how to code those sorts of things. I feel that they've already implemented differences. So, for example, Stalingrad, you can go down a few different branches of communism, like versions of communism, and like how it plays out varies. Oh wait, can we finally move up a little bit? Only to early mobilization. Wait a minute here. I want air combat training. Yeah. But like I'm sure they could, but like I don't know if it affects the performance or not, because one of the things that's awesome about Equestrian War is how fast it runs. So I don't know if the ideologies have anything to do with that, having to track all that across all the different nations. I have not seen Man in the High Castle, not the show, no. I'm not even sure where I would watch it. Is that on Amazon Prime? I have Prime. How do I feel about Trotsky? Every Russian revolutionary, anybody involved with the Russian Revolutionary, I think is just so fascinating. Whether we're talking Trotsky, Menko, fucking the oh geez, Kornilov, Wrangel, Denikin, all those dudes are so interesting to me because it's like it's just the fate of millions. And I know I have a factor sitting out, I'm deciding where to put it. But like, it's just so strange to me how like they all knew each other. And just, it's just so fascinating to me, just these individual personalities affecting, like, it really can make you a believer in great man theory. Let's see. I don't want to start, let's find where's some resources I could use? Down here. There we go. Yeah, let's get some aluminum. Actually, is there somewhere better I can get the aluminum? No. We'll come down here. Although we're doing free trade, so most of it's just leaving the country. Let's grab... Don't want the backroom backstabber, probably not. Maybe instead we can go... I don't know. I just don't know. What are my thoughts on the Spartacus uprising? The Spartacus uprising of 1990 jury. Opinion on the fate of the Romanov family and poor old Nicky II. Oh man, so you want to shit? That's like one of those things. Like you want to create a shitstorm online, post a picture of Nicholas II and his family and say they deserved it or say they didn't deserve it, and just sit back and grab the popcorn. Just, the Michael Jackson eating the popcorn from the Thriller video. Oh, no. And just, because, was Nicholas II the worst czar Russia ever had seen? No. You better believe he did some fucked up shit, though. And does a couple of nice pictures of him hanging out with his cousins and his family and, like, worrying about his son, does that make up for that? Yeah. But I will say it was pretty fucked up what happened to the kids. The kids probably, probably, oh my god. But but I understand why they killed the children. Like, in their mindset, I understand it. It's fucked up. It's just really fucked up. Anyway, but the 1919 uprising in Germany. So it's really interesting just how things went down in Germany, because you have this really far left uprising, and then the centrist government enlists the Freikorps to help, right? So like they pit the right against the left, and a lot of people call this the original sin of the Weimar Republic. But you could also say, well, would the Weimar Republic have survived? Like, maybe it was fighting for its own survival. Like, it was against this uprising. But this is reminding me, so my university, NMSU, they're doing a really cool series of lectures this year called The Revolutions of 1919, and I don't know what they all are going to be, but they did one on the uprising in Germany, and I missed it. I didn't even know about it. It's like, what the fuck? Put out an email or something. And now they're starting to send out emails and stuff. But so they did the one in Germany. They I just went to one this week. I went to it on Tuesday night. Which was a lecture on the Seattle General Workers Strike, and I never knew this, but it took place while the Russian Civil War was going on, and there was coincidentally a Soviet ship that came to the wrong dock, and they ended up docking in Seattle, and they like ended up partying with like a lot of the local union workers, and of course that was a big part of the influence in this general strike that was going to happen. I think they're going to do one lecture a month, and so I think 1919 is going to be Korea. Not 1919. March is going to be Korea. Oh shoot, what were the revolutions they said they're doing? They're doing Korea. I think they're doing Egypt. Somebody's gonna do Egypt. Let's see here. I'm trying to. I don't remember, but yeah. So you know, there's 12 months in a year, and so you know, there's gonna be 12 lectures. So I think that's cool. Spitfire. Yeah. And now the general worker strike, and of course all these things are at different scales because, you know, the uprising in Germany was a huge event. Wait, what am I doing? That's stupid. Not grab that. Let's grab this. 2 tiers in a bucket, right? So like, you know, there's obviously a huge difference in scale between the uprising in Germany and a general strike that lasted 5 days in Seattle. You know. Like there was the dock worker strike was longer, and then of course they're putting all these things in a context of like, you know, what happened before and after these events. So like, yeah, it's gonna be Korea, and I think I overheard 2 of the professors talking, and they said they're gonna bring in like a science professor, and he's gonna talk about like a scientific revolution of 1919. But it'll be cool. I'll probably talk about it more over the course of the year during my videos. But it's nice. I like those kind of lecture series things. Need a little more war support. I'm just gonna do the early mobilization now. No. Let me at least wait. I gotta at least hold out until I can get to partial. So in the meantime, let's grab some rubber. Okay. Hey, Bladman, I approved one of your comments, but could you please stop cursing? YouTube has a filter for it. So is there anybody out there into Pokemon? Did you see the new Gen 8 starters that got announced? I don't have a Switch. Maybe I'll get one. But I've been kind of getting more... I've been getting back into Pokemon in like the last year and change. Because I've been doing a marathon Nuzlocke, so I'm going through all of the games in order. So that's been fun. Right now I'm working on Emerald, which tells you a lot about how fast it's going. Because, you know, I'm trying to play every game and do a Nuzlocke of it, so, you know, you want to be patient. Although, actually, I'd say since I've hit Gen 3, I've been going much faster. I'm just closing some tabs in the other... Okay. Hold on a sec. I'm just working on some stuff here in the other tab. Mexico declared war on Honduras and Guatemala. What government do they have? It's harder than us. They're just now doing National Bank. Oh, well, it's December 38th and they already hit south, so they must have rushed down there. Yeah. What do you mean, what happened? Yeah, well, they must have rushed, that's what I'm saying. They must, so it looks like they did state education. Yeah, and they rushed to march southward. My stream cut out? It did? It looks fine on my end. Is there anybody else who the stream's out for? And incidentally, it's already been over an hour, which is as long as I said it was going to go. Hey, there's Zhang Lan again. It's twice now. Oh!
Oh, officer revolt in the Soviet Union! Parts of the Soviet High Command have risen in revolt against the leadership of Joseph Stalin. It is unclear exactly what has caused this uprising, but it does not seem to be a particularly well-planned effort to seize power. The Soviet political situation may not be as they project to the outside world. Woo! Wow. Well, I think that is a good cliffhanger to leave it on. Oh, damn! I think they have really fixed up the non-historical AI. Like, they actually do more non-historical stuff. That's great. But thank you all for joining me. I'm Conquering History Games. And I'll see you all in the next episode. I don't know when I'm going to live stream next. Contra-revolution time, boys. Gosh. So silly, but in the next episode, we're probably, whenever I do live stream this again, might be tomorrow night actually. I think I'll have the time. We will probably start fighting against the Axis, and Japan is moving west pretty quick. So we're gonna actually be deploying our divisions here soon. Oh, incidentally, it looks like we finally have some equipment, so I can, you know, create an army. What a concept. The Air Force is going to be more important anyway. So, whoops. Okay.